Hey there, Hoops fans. How you doing? It's your boy Jonathan Macri with you for a snowy edition of NBA Takedown here on Monday morning, January 26th, which means we are about 10 days away from the trade deadline. And I have had the pleasure of doing half a season with these fine gentlemen. And so we're going to hand out some midseason awards today. Before we do that, I guess I don't need to remind anybody to follow us on YouTube, because if you're watching this, you're watching on YouTube right now. Since my Twitter account got disabled, Jeff, can I interest you in a lightly used Lamborghini?
Not in this weather. I'll tell you that much. This is the least conducive weather to riding around in a drop top Lamborghini. But I will say, I am looking at that crypto market, bro. And I heard that you have some friends that have helped you gain some fantastic returns in the Ethereum market.
Ethereum. I have never invested in crypto. I understand the concept of crypto. No, I understand crypto a little bit. I've never invested in it. Shawn, how much money do you have tied up in crypto?
Currently none. I have a 90-second story about it, if you want.
Please.
Nice.
So Jeff always calls me Bellagio Hardy because of my sports gambling forays. Back in 2014, 15, I started gambling on sports through a offshore betting book, which I'm not going to name.
No, I don't believe.
And this is before it was legal here. And I remember I made some bets, won some money, and I was like, I want to withdraw. And I requested a withdrawal of $250. And the next day, I got a phone call from the sports betting from the sports book. And they say, well, we could give you the money, but, our bank is located in China. And sometimes there's issues cashing checks in American banks from the sources, whatever. So I was like, so what do you suggest then? He says, I'd like to suggest that you withdraw this money, this concept called Bitcoin. And I'm like, what is this? And he explains to me what it is. And after a while, I go, no, just give me the money. And if I had taken
what year was this?
2015. If I had taken $250 in Bitcoin back then, I think I did the math. I would have had at least 10 grand minimum.
But I mean, it's not like you'd be able to retire off that. It's not like you had an opportunity to buy, 1,000 shares of Google back in, I don't even know what year that would be.
Yeah, but I could have just, if I had bothered to look into it, I would have like, maybe I should invest in this, put more in. So, lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Next time somebody tries to peddle you some nonsense, I guess just jump on it. I don't know what else to say. All right. We got a lot to get to today, so we're going to get our takes off pretty quick. Let's get to it.
2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
All right. I'm starting us off here because I got to put my boy in the corner. My beloved Zach Lowe, my boy, got on his podcast 6 days ago and declared, he banged the gavel. I think it was imaginary gavel, but he still banged the gavel that the Minnesota Timberwolves had won the Karl Anthony Towns trade. And they had lost 2 games in a row at the time that he made that declaration. Both close losses, both to good teams. Since then, they have lost 3 more games in a row to not so good teams, including last night. They got shellacked at home by the Golden State Warriors, who are currently missing several players, including Jimmy Butler. Also lost to the Bulls in a just abhorrent loss. They also lost to Utah, who's not currently trying to win games. That's 5 straight losses for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I understand, obviously, there was probably some other stuff on their mind in yesterday's game. Totally understandable. Still, though, I find it interesting that I believe they have the current longest losing streak in the NBA. After Zach said that, so yeah, Zach, you could go sit down in the corner. That's my take.
I heard that and I said, that's not like Zach Lowe to make such a definitive proclamation about a trade 1.5 years in. I think this is a trade that has helped both teams. And
Really?
I think it's yes,
Okay.
in the sense that listen, the Knicks made the conference finals for the first time in a quarter century, and Karl Anthony Towns was a major contributor to that. I know some people, some members of the NBA takedown community may not believe as much. I'm not going to say any names because I ain't no snitch, but I
don't think
both
it's
teams-
snitching.
I think both teams have benefited, and it's too early to declare who's the winner. Although the question I always ask is when it comes to trades, like who got the best player in the deal? Because 99 out of 100 times that team won the trade.
Who got the best asset in the deal is another way to phrase it.
Asset, player,
Different things.
concept. Like, so yes.
Okay.
I mean, who is the best asset in that deal?
I would actually, I might argue with Dante DiVincenzo's best asset in the deal.
So yes, because if they put him on the market, there'd be a bidding war, not a crazy bidding war, but there would be a lot of teams interested in the services.
Yeah.
But Dante DiVincenzo won't be in a trade for a superstar. He's matching. He's more closer to matching salary than
Don't throw the RJ on him. No, we reserve that phrase.
You snitched on yourself. I wasn't gonna say nothing. Wasn't gonna say anything about. Listen,
this is if you've said it on live streams.
But this is a new audience, relatively new.
Is very true.
Some
it's very
crossover,
true.
yes. So
yes.
I see. Listen, you gotta. As you learn to work with me, you'll realize that I have a way of throwing people under the bus without letting everyone else know who that person is. Well, you got to work with me there.
I will lay down in front of the bus willingly. Jeff, you got a take for this morning?
Oh yeah, Raptors fans. Let's talk about Emmanuel quickly.
Oh,
the man that you wanted to send to Pelican Bay a month ago. The man who some Raptors fans said, yeah, that Wilt Chamberlain stat line that he put up as a guard was cool, but I'm still shipping him on the first thing smoking for Ja Morant. I'm not making this up. In my mentions, I think he might be one of the most underappreciated players in the league, and it might just define what his career is. I think he was underappreciated in New York by fans and by the coaching staff. And I think he's being underappreciated in Toronto now. He's not a perfect player. He has his flaws. And yeah, everybody pocket watches when you don't see a direct return on your investment, especially as a sports fan. But I think he's showing the Raptors and their fans what his maximum impact can be. You don't have to have mind-blowing counting stats to have a massive impact on the game. Look at Derek White, who you let some of the analytic community tell it should be a multi-time All-Star and be in the running for a bunch of awards, especially after his last few years. He's still an impactful player, and you might not look at him as superstar, but he has superstar level impact on the game. And I think while Quickly may not be all the way there yet, he's shown it throughout his career. And I think it's just funny how the tide has turned on him, especially amongst the Raptor fan base.
Two absolutely massive threes last night in the final couple of minutes to snag a win in Oklahoma City against the Thunder. Also hit the 2 free throws to seal the deal after his teammate Jamal Shed missed 2 free throws, which his team could have used. I mean, he put up a 40 burger about a week and a half ago. He's had a 13 assist game. He's had games where he's taken double-digit threes, and he was 6 for 10 from 3 again last night against Oklahoma City. His team is currently ahead of the Knicks in the standings. I don't know if everybody checked that this morning. Not ideal for us Knicks fans, but I like it, Jeff. That's really good. That's really good. So maybe didn't deserve to be on the worst contracts honorable mention list last week.
I understand why when you talk about movability or whatnot, but
no, man.
Let Oklahoma City get Emmanuel Quickly. Y'all want to be mad?
I would rather not.
Okay.
Listen, somewhere out there, Kevin Danishevsky is still pining for Quickly to come back and would happily send Karl Anthony Towns out the door to accommodate that. Shawn, what's your take for the day?
It is time, and I've been on this corner for years. can we defund inside the NBA once and for all? Please. Like, I'm shocked, but I'm not surprised that there are people still banging the table for this show. People on Rihanna's internet, but for Colin Cowherd, for those who missed it, shared a conspiracy theory that Adam Silver had inside the NBA go to ESPN so ESPN could bury it. They have done one. Saturday was their first show since Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles Barkley went out of his way to tell the people who think that they got buried, they should be buried, to shut the hell up. And then he turned around and said that the only people who are interested in watching Wizards Hornets are people who are bored and have nothing to do. And this was following a dance-off on Inside the NBA. There was a dance-off segment where where the Inside the NBA panels were showing off their moves. As I've said, as I've said, there are people. The majority of people who bang the table for Inside the NBA, those are people who like the NBA but who do not like basketball. The show hasn't been funny in years. Yes, there's a moment here or there, but I've always said, and shout out to the people on the internet who are like, people make fun of this. People on the internet, people on social media make fun of them, but it's a problem when Charles Barkley does it. Yes, it's a problem when Charles Barkley, who by extension is an ambassador of the league, is constantly telling us how bad the product is. And listen, Charles is very smart. I actually think when Charles is talking basketball, he is one of the best, but they lean into a side of especially watching how Amazon is covering the game, how NBC is covering the game, how even to ESPN's credit, they're doing things differently. For example, their sit downs with Tim Leggo and the coaches breaking down film. They've put the emphasis on the game, but Inside the NBA is the main character of NBA coverage, and they still haven't realized it yet. No, for the most part, no one misses this show, and I don't believe Adam Silver put on ESPN for them to bury the show, because I think Adam Silver could have just buried the show and told ESPN, don't bring this back.
I've already said it. I think Inside the NBA was market corrected by the Prime studio panel with Blake, with Taylor Rooks and Blake and Steve and Dirk and Udonis. I have an offset of that hot take. I think Inside the NBA was never the same after they added Shaq. And I understand it's 15 years ago now, but it disrupted the balance, because when you had Chuck as the goofball, as the goofiest one, it worked because, as you just said, Shawn, he was so knowledgeable, and you knew he was knowledgeable, and you knew at his core he cared a lot about the league. Shaq to me has never added anything to the product other than to be a buffoon.
Not a thing. Shaq brings it nothing, and he underlined it on this weekend when he said the Lakers are Western Conference contenders. Like, Shaq, have you been paying attention? Like, you can't tell me the Knicks aren't good enough because their two best players aren't good defenders, and then call the Lakers, whose three best players are not interested in playing defense, contenders. Like, Shaq brought nothing to the show. You're right. Shaq brings nothing to the show except skits, hijinks, falling, running toward the board, and bullying NBA players when he can.
Yeah. Jeff, last thoughts before we start handing out some awards.
Jeff, please go to the awards. I'm recusing myself.
Yeah, I was like, Jeff, got to be careful.
I can say so much counter and whatever, but I'm recused, 100% recused. Let's go to the midseason awards.
Let's give out some midseason awards. All right, we have 10 categories, I think, unless I added one. No, we have 10 categories. Some traditional, some not. We're starting off with a traditional category, which is, of course, Rookie of the Year. I will just say that I did more research into this one than any other one, and I found it to be one of the more difficult calls. Let's do this. Let's go. We'll go left to right, and then right to left, and we'll alternate. Jeff, so you start us off. Who's your Rookie of the Year?
VJ Edgecombe.
Okay. I looked at him and obviously the other two, because I was like, well, one guy's on a winning team and two guys are on losing teams, and that was enough for you?
No, not so much. I think you look at the numbers. and they're super comparable. He's second in offensive rating, second in defensive rating, first in net rating. Just the turnover ratio, you want a little razzle dazzle, he's second in that. He has a better EFG than Cooper Flag, but a worse true shooting percentage. And he's doing all of this in less than 130 possessions less than Flag. And I think winning should matter. I think winning should matter. And not to mention, VJ's one of the best clutch players in the league. Not among rookies.
No, just period.
Period. 54% from three. If it's clutch time and this man shoots a three, it's going in. And it's very annoying. Like that game against the Knicks, when the Knicks were holding off everything in that game to not blow that lead.
Yes.
VJ had the ball top of the key. I was like, Cash. And when he let it go, I said, Cash. Because I knew he just is unflappable in crunch time. And I think it's a testament to him that I'm looking at him before Maxey and Embiid as the person to not let cook if the game is close or you're up. If the game is close at all in the final 5 minutes, don't let Edgecombe be the third guy that you allow to beat you because he's going to beat you. I think Knuppel has been doing well. He's been over-indexing from what you thought he was going to be, and Cooper Flag is Cooper Flag. But I think if we're looking at it across the board, you got to give serious consideration to Edgecombe.
I think if you're going Edgecombe, it's one, clutch, two, the on-offs are much better than the other two. Hornets are basically the same team, whether Con plays or not, and the Mavs are actually a little worse when Flag plays. And then number three, the defense, which whether it bears out in the numbers or not, we know from the eye test that dude can get into it. I did go with Con, and it was purely an efficiency thing. He's just wildly more efficient than the other two. And I got to tell you, I would have probably gone VJ had it not been for this recent Hornets uptick and the fact that they are now, I would favor them definitely over the Bucks and probably over the Bulls to make a play in at this point if they want to. I don't know if they want to, but I'm buying the recent stock. And yeah, I mean, he gets assisted on a lot of his buckets, which Flag doesn't, and VJ's in between the two of them. But I went with Con. Shawn, do you have are you going to give it to a third player, or are you going with one of ours?
I'm going with Con. I went back and forth between him and VJ. The only pushback I will give about winning is that winning has never mattered for this award ever. No, it's never mattered. And as someone I am not a big fan of quote unquote changing the criteria for awards just to fit someone's narrative. Hello, Malcolm Brogdon. I like winning has never ever mattered.
Should it though?
It shouldn't actually, because chances are, if you're the rookie of the year, you're on a bad team to begin with, and how much
VJ isn't. I think that's the point, is that there's more pressure on him to produce.
But VJ isn't because of the shenanigans that the Sixers pulled last year.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying that he isn't, to Jeff's point about clutch situations, those are higher leverage because his team actually has something to lose. Whereas if Con is in a clutch spot or Cooper's in a clutch spot, they know, I mean, I'm sure that matters to them, but like those teams aren't going anywhere this year. It doesn't move you at all.
But VJ Edgecombe isn't the biggest reason why they're in those clutch situations to begin with. He can't have it both ways. It's like, well, where I'm in these clutch situations. Like, well, are you the reason they're in these clutch situations, or is it the guy that's playing next to you, right? So I'm just saying that, like, for me, winning can't be the tiebreaker, because it's not Con Knuppel's fault he went to the Hornets. I can't hold that against him.
That's fair. Okay.
So but I'm not going to argue if you say VJ Edgecombe. Like, I'm not going to.
I'm glad one of us picked VJ. I'll say that.
Yes.
I'm glad you had the guts to do it, Jeff. All right, Shawn, you're starting off for our second award. This is one of our made-up awards. Our old head of the year at the midway point. This is a player who has at least 15 years of service time in the NBA. Who are you giving it to, Shawn?
I'm giving it to Wardell Stephen Curry. The fact that this dude actually leads the league in three-pointers made at 37, at age 37. And they kind of need him to do that because, especially and they needed that before Jimmy went out. And now, like, what's funny is I actually wonder if the franchise that is claimed to be light years ahead would think about just
Stop.
going the other way and just being like, you know what? If we're no, it's funny. The light years ahead move would be to pack it in this year and get into the lottery instead of fighting to be in the playoffs. By the way, shout out to everyone who took Warriors to miss the playoffs like plus 500 like a month and a half ago. Holla at me. But yeah, I like Steph is at age 37. He's still doing this. I have some honorable mentions. I'm sure one of you will mention.
Well,
but that's
I think
my guy.
I think it's down. It's between Steph and one other guy, and I'm going to go with the other guy. I'm going to give it to KD. The numbers essentially are identical, but Steph has it in a couple of categories. KD has it in a couple other categories. What moved me is as a 37-year-old man who has not exactly been the picture of health over the years, Kevin Durant is 13th in the league in total minutes right now. That is insane. And I think there are some arguments for Steph over KD. Like, I think you just made a few of them, but I'm going to give it to KD. And I think I have a feeling if Jeff went off the grid here and took someone else other than these two, I'd be shocked.
From Mount St. Mac. No, I gave it to KD. He's 37 years old. He's been available, and he's almost putting up a 50, 40, 90 year. He's like 2 missed free throws away from a 50, 40, 90. And not like I'm just getting there. Like he's 40%, almost 41% from three, over 50% from the field, and 88% from the free throw line. Like, and his team has remained in contention. Right, his team has remained in contention.
Oh yeah,
and you can point to that trade as being. I don't think the Rockets could have asked for more. I really don't think the Rockets could have asked for more. So, given everything, I think it is between Stephen and KD, as it always is. It seems like.
I know. I would if we did, awards for a span of like a decade or longer. You could argue that KD trade is as good a win-win trade as we have seen in the league in some time.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Shawn, who were your honorables?
My honors were Kevin Durant, and the other honorable actually was Steph's teammate Jimmy Butler, because his on-offs were crazy for the Warriors. And especially at his age 36 season. We've probably seen modern technology is modern and improving, but we may have seen the last of Jimmy Butler as a bona fide number 2 on a team that hopes to contend, which if we do, it sucks. But he was my other one.
I'll throw out just a quick flower to James Harden. Highest scoring average since the 2019-20 season. And he's still doing it his way, of course, because how else would James Harden ever do it? Jeff, start us off with your coach of the year.
It's JB Bickerstaff right now for me.
Oh, okay.
They're the Pistons and the Thunder are the only 2 teams with 30 wins plus wins this season. And I expected them to be good. I didn't expect them to be this. And contrary to the Rookie of the Year award, winning does matter with the Coach of the Year. So I think if they keep up this pace, because as we know, that losing streak can hit you at any moment, right? It's like seasonal flu. That losing streak can hit you at any moment. But if they maintain this pace, I think it's an open and shut case that he gets the Coach of the Year, especially with the narrative that has been building around this team where people were jumping a year ahead ago to try to elevate them into some level of contention and thought, hey, if one or two things go right, they could be a great team. And it seems like as of now, they got those one or two things going. So they maintain, they win like, if they're in the top 3 in wins for the year,
Jeff,
I think they get it.
Don't look now. The Thunder have 10 losses. The Pistons have 11. Like that, it's not open and shut. I mean, everybody thinks it's open and shut. It's you look at the records. That's insane
That's
that we're
insane.
saying that, where we would have thought a month ago that would have been the craziest thing in the world to be like the Pistons could catch the Thunder. I'm going to maybe have a little Pistons love later. But for this one, I am not going with the team that is in first place in the Eastern Conference. I'm going with the coach of the team that is in second place in the Eastern Conference, and I'm giving my coach of the year to Joe Mazzulla. I think when you look at expectations and just when you look at how they have a way of going about their business in Boston that, frankly, makes me a little bit jealous this year. Just going to throw it out there. So I am giving it to Joe Maz. Shawn doesn't like that. Shawn, are you going with a different person than either of us?
I am, although you both mentioned my two honorable mentions. I'm going with Jordan Ott.
Okay, that was the other. There we go. Okay.
Because I thought this team was going to be dog doo-doo. And he's gotten the buy-in, especially when you're on a team where I don't want to say the Phoenix Suns are rudderless, but they're not contending for a tight, like they can't tank, thanks Matt Ishbia, and they're not good enough to be seriously considered legitimate title contenders. Although then again, they have the same amount of wins as those contenders in LA, the Los Angeles Lakers, according to Shaquille O'Neal. But the fact that the Knicks are 27-20 and they're 27-19.
Yeah.
And we can't say, oh, the Knicks are good, the Knicks is in third, and be like, oh, well, Phoenix is whatever. I think he's done an amazing job. My only thing against JB Bickerstaff is that when it collapses, and it's going to collapse because every team JB Bickerstaff is on collapses.
Stop it.
And let's just say collapse. When the cracks are in the foundation, JB just takes a sledgehammer to those cracks with his whining and complaining and just starts banging and making the cracks bigger and bigger and bigger. Because what do I always say, Jeff? When the shit hits the fan, you are not as likely to rise to the occasion as you are to sink to your level of training. And when the shit hits the fan, JB Bickerstaff will just whine and complain and point fingers and wah, 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 wah.
Does he come from the Nick Nurse tree of bitching?
Oh, man, that's a big tree.
That's a big tree.
That's a big-ass tree. I don't know that the shit is going to hit the fan in the regular season, at least, for the Pistons, which means he could very well win this award. The Suns, barring something absolutely insane, are going to be the first team to surpass their over-under win total. Their over-under before the year was 30.5. They are currently 27-19. So that is a good call by you. And we're going to stick with you, Shawn. Who is your coach on the hottest seat award at the midseason?
So I had a lot of fun with this category. And it's funny, I actually wrote the same. I wrote the same name down twice for honorable mention and for number one. So I'm gonna change that. So mine is actually, and it's not really his fault, but
I know I think we have the same answer.
Glenn Doc Rivers.
Oh, okay. We do. Okay, he was the other one that I looked at, but here, you know why I didn't go with Doc? Because nothing is hot in Minnesota, in Milwaukee. It's all cold. It's all dead. It is rigor mortis has set in.
So the reason why I put him here is because I just don't foresee him being a coach next year, because I think Giannis will. I think it's safe to say that Giannis will not be a Buck next season.
I agree, but it's like, so to me, hot seat means you're in danger of getting canned before the year's over.
Okay.
And I don't think Doc's. That's why my hots. I thought you were going in this direction. I'm going with Jamal Mosley, and I feel bad because I like Jamal Mosley a lot. I've always liked Jamal Mosley, and I don't think this is necessarily his fault, and yet I think he has the hottest seat at the midway point.
He was my second choice.
Okay,
because we spoke about this. Like, if things didn't go well in Orlando, he was gonna be the first to go. So,
Jeff, where are you going?
Oh, let's get all the way negative. Kenny Atkinson.
I looked there too. I did look there. That's how the mighty have fallen.
Listen, y'all can hate New York all you want and talk about how we're feeling ourselves and we have coastal elite New York bias.
Yeah.
But at some point, that seat gets hot, whether you're on a tractor trailer, whether you're on a farm, whether you're on
Lake Erie,
archipelago. What is it called?
Archipelago.
Archipelago, wherever you are, eventually that seat gets warm. The Knicks and the Cavs were supposed to be 1-2 in the East this year.
Are they not? I haven't checked the standings in a while.
They are
Oh,
not.
they're not.
But
They are next to each other.
They are next to each
They are next to each other, but not at 1-2.
Same number of
But
wins.
one of those teams has been hovering at around the top spots for a majority, at least like 90% of the season. The other one has been on furlough. And at some point, something has got to change. And I've been consistent when I said this is an inflection point year for the Cavs.
Yes.
If they get knocked out in the first round again, and oh boy, I bet you there's a lot of Cavs fans that do not want to see the standings as they are stay the way they are. Because imagine
Listen,
if it ended the way it started after the Donovan Mitchell trade, which are postseason history. That's all I'm saying.
If it was ever Knicks Cavs first round, we would do a draft of like who is losing their jobs or taking their suitcase and moving to a different location draft, because there's gonna be a lot of hell to pay for losing
That's
that
a loser.
series.
That's a loser leaves town match.
That's a loser relocates.
That's a loser leaves town match.
You're moving to Seattle if you lose that series,
Bro.
Shit.
So the reason why, I looked at 4 coaches, and the reason why I did not include Kenny Atkinson in my top 3 is because the Cavs were 9th on December 20th, and now they're 5th. So they've bounced back. But to Jeff's point, if
they wasn't supposed to bounce back, they were supposed to bounce back.
Wait, so who are your other 2?
No, so I wrote down Doc, I wrote down Jamal Mosley, and I wrote down JJ Redick. Although I think JJ Redick might
genius.
I think he might jump off the cliff himself because he's had enough of this.
He's gonna light the match. Oh shit.
Listen. Oh, I've heard for a week about how Mike Brown calling out Karl-Anthony Towns was a crime known to man, and here is JJ Redick saying, "Hey, Luka, we need to get the ball," which he's right. Like, you got to get your guys involved. Right. But and listen, listen? I read that entire piece by Baxter Holmes from ESPN about the issues behind the story behind the sale of the Lakers and what's going on in LA. Nothing surprised me about that. That anything that front office, that administration, that organization will do wouldn't surprise me.
No, that's very true. I don't think JJ is going anywhere. Jeff, we're sticking with you. Who is your most improved player of the year?
I had a few. I'm gonna say Austin Reeves.
Really?
I'm gonna go with Austin Reeves.
Okay.
Because boy, he had me believing.
Well,
he's in the top 13 in scoring right now. And
yes.
I just feel like, I'm not gonna say he came out of nowhere, but I do think his play, especially when LeBron was out, made thinking that the Lakers could conceivably really make noise in the West, not just be a lowercase c contender, but really make noise. It made it more feasible. Like it started to, before his injury, it started to become undeniable. So that's why I think I would give it to him.
I think this, first of all, I think it's the hardest award.
There's a lot
among the real awards. To the fact that if you shout out the Fanatics, if you look on out there at some of the numbers that you could get on some guys who I think could absolutely conceivably win this. I know Denny is by far the betting favorite. He's the only one I think that has minus money right now. But I think there's at least a half dozen other guys that could very well win it. I went with Keontae George on Utah because I think he has made the most hashtag meaningful improvement. Like, he has gotten better as a player. It's not that he just was injured last year and kind of stepped, into, he's been mostly healthy this season or anything like that. He's gotten a lot better in every facet of the game, efficiency, leading his team, the whole thing. And the Jazz are like another team where they are pretty close to going past their preseason over-under. So that was my guy, but I do have an asterisk, but before I get to my asterisk, I'm going to go to Shawn.
So mine is Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
Another
Ooh,
guy I
that's a
looked
good
at.
one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
He and listen, I'm not like counting stats or everything, but to go from 9.8 points per game, which is his career average, to 20, like I don't like if that's not improvement, I don't know what is. And now this season he is shooting he's almost a 50, well, not 50-40, but he's 44, 38, 87.
That's a
Like
You guys been awesome.
yeah, I listen. I have had a real issue with this award the last few years because it's going to either guys who were picked in the top 3 who all of a sudden like had a breakout season,
Yeah.
quote unquote, took the leap they were supposed to make,
Yeah.
or just or guys who are already good and then they took a leap and it's like, all right, I don't know how much they improved are. I think you can't get any more. Going from 9.8 to 20 is listen, scoring is I understand that rules and scoring is easier. Scoring 20 in this league is still a thing. It's still especially scoring 20 on that team with the talent around him, including the guy that's no longer there. So
yeah. No, that was a good call. The asterisk I just wanted to say is for Peyton Watson. If we did this in 2 weeks and he was doing in over the next 2 weeks, he's continued to do what he's been doing for the last month or so, which is basically be like a 26-5 guy. I might go to Watson and we'll see what his numbers look like when Jokic comes back. Okay, so that's 3 straight categories that we have 3 different answers for, which is interesting. I would be very surprised if we had 3 different answers for this next category. Shawn, you're going to tee us off with what did I name this actual category? Biggest arrival? Best new arrival.
Yep.
With a player who made the biggest impact on a new team. Obviously can't be a rookie, so it's someone who changed teams via free agency or trade in the offseason. Who you got?
First, shout out to Bankham Garvey because my other honorable mention for this award, for the previous award, was Deuce McBride for most improved, who's now like a knockdown 3-point shooter. All right, so for best new arrival, I think if I know Jonathan Macri, we're gonna have the same answer, and it's Norm Powell.
Oh shoot! Oh, no, speak on it.
No, I mean, if the Clippers,
that's a great answer, by the way. I hold on. That's a great answer. It's a great answer.
If the Clippers called the Heat and asked for Norm Powell back, the Heat would laugh, fart on the phone, and then hang up.
Yeah, but that's not what the award is based on. It is what did I wrote down?
You wrote down biggest
impact
on a player who changed teams in the summer.
Yeah, and I'm like Miami right now is 25 and 22. I could look up real quick what they were in the standings at this time last year. My guess is they were about the same.
And if they didn't have Norm Powell, they'd be swimming next to Brooklyn. Like,
okay, that's
like
that's fine. I know. No. My answer is Dylan Brooks.
That's a good answer.
Same one.
That's a great answer.
Yeah,
and
that was me 100%.
I have a couple numbers here because to me the run, it was between Brooks and the guy he got traded for, which is Kevin Durant. And here are the stats that I want to give you. Last year at this time, right now, the Houston Rockets were 30 and 14. They are currently 27 and 16. I'm not saying that's Kevin Durant's fault, but the fact is they have a worse record this year than they do last year. The Phoenix Suns last year, believe it or not, were actually better than I thought. 23 and 21. This year they are 27 and 19, and they took a nosedive after this time last year. So Jeff, why Brooks?
That man single-handedly. Well, let me not be so extra with it. He came in and changed the culture of that team. I think he's what folks call glue guys nowadays. I feel like he is a culture guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a guy who can bring his culture to a squad and completely change the face of how the team operates.
Mm-hmm.
Like he comes in, he brings that toughness. He brings his antagonistic ways on the court. He's trolling. He's getting under people's skin. He demands that you play hard. And when you have those type of guys, and he's vocal about it, that's the other thing. One of the main guys in the league who you'd love to have as a teammate and hate them if they're not on your team. And that is a testament to how good they are for team chemistry. And I just think that no one, I don't care who you are. I don't even think Suns fans would have expected them to have the record that they have right now this season, just for off of that Dylan Brooks trade. But we here now. So
This
Yeah.
is why I gave my coach of the year to Missoula over Ott ever so slightly, because I think if you gave Jordan Ott last year's Phoenix Suns, I have no reason to believe that they would be any different. I think they needed someone like a Dylan Brooks. And how many guys like Dylan Brooks are there in the league, really, when it comes down to it? There's very few guys who can both who bring it on the court from a skill perspective. Like, he's not an all-star level player, but he's like right below that, but also bring all the other stuff that you're talking about. So yeah.
true.
I appreciate the Norm pick though, Shawn. I appreciate the Norm pick.
It's either him or Jay Huff. I'm kidding.
What did we already do? Oh no, we're so this actually going to lead to next category. So biggest surprise, Jeff, you start us off. I have a feeling we're gonna. Well, who's your biggest surprise of the year? Positive, first of all.
Toronto Raptors.
Okay, I like it.
All I heard this season was how nobody knows what they're cooking. That team doesn't fit. They have they're all a bunch of standardized parts that don't standardize. They need to make a trade.
That's good.
RJ needs to pack his bags. Quickly needs to go to. I said Nova Scotia, and then Nova Scotia Twitter
Yeah,
came
I
at
saw
me,
that.
and I was like, bro, I that was the first province that popped into my head. I have no heat. I'm glad I didn't say Vancouver, because I know them people would have been A-Town stomping, and they not even from Atlanta. But they wanted to ship him to the farthest reaches of Earth. Brandon Ingram, you hear about the whole inefficient thing and all of that. Like there were so many reasons why this team shouldn't work. And you look up and they're a top 3 team in the East as of now. But you can say percentage points, you can say whatever. It is what it is, what it is. Who would have known that the Atlantic Division was going to be the AFC North of the NBA, right? Like, this is the most competitive division in the league,
except for Brooklyn.
I mean, yeah, that's why you just, they're the Williamsburg Browns, but yeah, it's just it's a testament to that team, and they had their stretches this year, they had their low points this year, they had injuries, they've dealt with it all, and they've somehow galvanized. They're awesome in transition. They're clutch.
They play hard, like you mentioned.
Yeah, they play hard. It's a fun team to watch. Like, I didn't expect that from the Raptors. I thought, I think in my preseason, I had them fighting for a play-in spot. It could still happen, but I'm just saying early on mid-season, yeah, man, who would have thought they would have been vying for a guaranteed playoff slot?
And I can make this prediction right now. They are going to be the team, if they make the playoff field, they're going to be the team that everyone's going to be like, oh, we want to play them, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, even like a Cleveland or a New York, people are going to want to play the Raps, and we'll see how that works out for them. I went with the Suns for my answer. We've talked a lot about the Suns already. Shawn, who'd you go with for this one?
So I went with the Raptors, but I figured someone else was going to pick the Raptors. So the other team I would pick is the Boston Celtics, because I believe that they'd be swimming in the play-in, and right now they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference by record. And listen, we've mentioned Joe Mazzulla as Coach of the Year, as a Coach of the Year candidate. He's a big part of the reason why this team went from not be able to rebound a thing. They fixed that. Jaylen Brown went from I can't dribble with my left hand to I can dribble with both hands. Fuck out of here. I thought that I didn't think they'd be like, complete tank 13th, 12th in the East. I didn't think they'd be second. Now, I don't think they're going to finish second, but the fact that they're in contention for a top 4 seed is a surprise.
I would put their over under for a seed in the East at 2.5 right now. I think that should be the betting line.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the under. I know you will. And we're sticking with you. Who was your biggest surprise on the downside? If we do not have the same answer for this, I will be shocked.
All right. So I've vacillated between 2 teams.
Okay.
And since I think I know the team you think I'm going to take, that we have both have the same answer for, I'll leave that team to you. I'm going to say the Indiana Pacers.
I looked at them long and hard.
I didn't think they'd be this bad.
Well, could I just tell you, we were talking over unders before. Oh, I lost the page. Their over under was in the 30s.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought, all right, they don't have Halliburton. They don't have Miles Turner. But these guys, Rick Carlisle will put something together to have them competing, and they'll be like, I think I had them finish like 9th or 10th in the East. I didn't think they would be 11-35. I didn't think they. Yeah. So they're the team that I'm legitimately surprised by, because again, I didn't think they'd be 14. I didn't think they'd be 14th in the East.
I am taking a team that I wasn't as high on as a lot of other people, but I still thought they would be better than this, and I'm taking the Orlando Magic, who are currently 2 games over 500, and their calling card has always been defense, and they are currently a league average defense, and they are barely a league average defense. That's who I thought you were going with, Shawn.
Well, see, I'm not gonna do that because
it's okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I expected them to be a play-in team, and they are. And it looks, I'm actually pulling up my canvas predictions, and I had Orlando 6th, and they're currently 8th. So they kind of are who we thought they were. Well, who I thought they were.
Not who a lot of people thought they would be. A lot of people had them 3rd in the East. Jeff, who are you going with here?
You know, I hate to do this because you know, I try my best. I work hard. I think this team has a lot of potential, but it's my Milwaukee Bucks. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? 1826. This is not who we are. But you know, there is no failure. There is no failure. But right now, it is looking like something with an F. So, my friend Jeff, you know, the Jeff J says, you know, he works everywhere. He tell me we're supposed to be top 6. Where are we now? We might be bottom 6. So I have to fix my calf. Second half of the year, 25, 30 games, you know, you push, and then we get in. And once we get in, anything can happen. I have total fear.
I don't even know. I
want to just. I just want to send. I just want to wire you a bunch of money right now. That's what I want to do.
A+. That was your best one yet. Thank you for that. I just want to say it's the upset of the year that we named 3 different teams for our most disappointing team, and not one of us named the Los Angeles Clippers.
Hey, they on their way back, bro. They might be the first team in NBA history to get to 500 after starting like what their record was.
Yeah. Fair. Shawn?
I guess, because I had them 4th. Good Lord. So the team I thought that you and I are both going to say is a team that, and for this is the second time they pulled the banana in the tailpipe against me, and that's the Atlanta Hawks. So this is the second time.
Okay. All right.
I bought into the bullshit. It's the second time.
Think about that.
Twice this team. And you know what I'm blaming? William F. Simmons, the owner of the Ringer. I'm blaming him. I let this motherfucker talk me twice.
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming myself.
No, twice, because he was like, you know what? Because he mentioned it, and I did some research. I said, you know what? Like, to the point where I bet Hawks to win the East at like 40-1 or 34-1 in the offseason. I was like, you know, if this goes well, and they pulled the banana in the tailpipe again. Don't no one ask me. Not especially you, Zach Lowe, to bind hug. No, no, none of that. Get out of here. I don't want.
You fell for the voice.
Don't want to hear it.
You fell for the siren call. Hey, you know, it's pretty sneaky with the Hawks. You know, they got Kate Porzingis. He stays healthy for a while. You know, Trey, you surround him with suitors. That Jalen Johnson,
they're not
looking
even
like an all-star. Might be most improved.
They don't even have their own pick. That's the thing, is they have no incentive to tank. They're just not very good. Okay, our last 2 awards. Who starts this one off? Jeff, this is yours to start. Your least valuable player of the year this season.
I will give you 2 guesses. The first 2 don't count. It could go so many different ways, but I don't know how it's not Trae Young.
Oh, it could be Trae Young.
He's the only star that was supposed to be on a contending team that has gotten traded mid-season this season. effectively for a salary dump. When, to Shawn's point, a lot of smart people in the preseason said the Hawks have a top four in the East roster.
Yeah.
To the point where, as people are wont to do, people are talking about the Cavs and the Knicks, but these Hawks, because you have to dim the light somehow. You have to call in the wide open East, you have to pull out some dark horses. But now that dark horse is in the back of the barn, trying to get a stay of execution.
Word.
I least valuable. Who would have thought, bro, that they would trade Trey mid-season? And you know what's the wildest part about that? Even with trading Trey, the Dallas Mavericks still made the worst trade in the history of the NBA by trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers. And now, to me, I don't even know if we can say they won that trade with the Hawks.
I thought you were going in the Mavs direction. I thought you were going to go with Anthony Davis for least valuable player, even though he's been good and helpful for them when he's been on the court, which is not the same case for Trae Young.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold his injuries against him. Like, at this point, they're unfortunately, they're a given. So I'm not going to hold it against him, because I know if that wasn't a reality for him, they're not trying to trade him. Unless it's literally we're blowing it up and we're trying to get the most value. He might be on one of these East teams by now if they were really trying to tank and he was healthy.
Listen, there's still time. My least valuable player of the 25-26 NBA season is LeBron James.
Wow.
And by extension, his agent, Rich Paul. This is the first time in NBA history we have seen an apparatus, because that is what it is. It is the LeBron James apparatus, actively attempt to dismantle a team from the inside out with this stupid fucking podcast that he continues to go on and say just the most utterly nonsensical stuff. And LeBron's very smart and he knows what he's doing, and he's not happy they didn't get paid, and he's still hurt from that. And the Lakers are suffering because of it. So the 4-time MVP is my LVP thus far, midway through the season.
Wow.
Genius 4D chess by Bill Simmons to break up the Los Angeles Lakers.
Amen to that.
Genius, but a sports guy. My least valuable player is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek decision. But it's also, I'm going to be trolling a bit or getting people riled up. I don't give a damn. It's LaMelo Ball. Because, again, you will win nothing with this guy as your best player. And if you ask me, how do I say this? LaMelo Ball is the Josh Allen of Rudy Gay's.
Hold on, I need a drink before I try to wrap my head around that. LaMelo Ball is the Josh Allen of Rudy Gay's.
Because the PR and the spin about how there's this large section of the internet who will tell you it's not LaMelo's fault. It's his teammates are bad. Look at his on-offs. Look at his offensive rating with Knipple and Braxton Miller. Oh, look at there in the last 2 weeks.
Brandon Miller,
rating.
who's counting?
But yeah, Brandon Miller. Excuse me.
Might as well be Braxton. I don't think anyone knows.
Braxton Miller was a quarterback for Ohio State.
Yes, he was. I actually knew that.
But I think yes, according to Cleaning the Glass, on the last 2 weeks they are eighth in net rating. They're good.
They've been good for a while now.
Yeah, they've been good for a while, and all of this has taken the Charlotte Hornets from 12th in the Eastern Conference all the way up to 12th in the Eastern Conference. I will say this now. Hear me now. Understand me tomorrow and for the rest of your lives. If he's your best player, you ain't winning shit.
I'm going to give credit to Jeff for the only one of the three of us who gave a real answer to that question. All right. Last but not least, MVP, and there's an asterisk on this because I'd be shocked. Shawn, who's your MVP?
Cade Cunningham.
No, that's not. For real?
Dude, that dude does everything. That dude does everything. The most valuable player in the league. All right,
I
yes,
thought
all right. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. All right, here we go. There we go.
Yeah, but okay, because the ask. So I have SGA. Jeff, who's your MVP?
It was Jokic. I was gonna say Jokic, but then what the Nuggets have done with him not being there over the past few days, kinds of, although he's done phenomenal things on the court, the fact that they're still able to win without him.
And he's missed a ton of games, and SGA
And he's
only
missed a ton.
few.
He has missed a ton of games. So, like, that being said, I think the voters would go with SGA. But to Shawn's point, if that win total stays as close as it is between the Thunder and the Pistons, people, you know how I say it, people have been horny to crown players.
Yes.
And I think they are extra rock solid to crown Cade. And I think if those numbers stay the same, and yeah, he is deserving, because if you take Cade off that team, and it's a wrap. It's an absolute, like, they need Cade to play at that level to have any chance. Like, I'm talking any chance. I can see Cade getting this MVP award, man.
So I thought I would need to get cute to have an interesting discussion about this, because I was gonna be like, all right, we all know SGA is going to win. Who right now has the best chance to finish second? And that's where I was going to go with this. But again, your pick to win right now, Jeff, is who? Is SGA or Cade?
I'll say SGA.
I'm also going with SGA, and I don't think it's going to be a close vote at the end of the day. Shawn, you're
if you gave me a vote, I would vote for Cade, because
this is wild.
Wait a minute, yo! They're the second best record in the league.
No,
they got one guy who has to do everything. One guy.
So here's the thing: Jokic can miss 3 more games and still be eligible for postseason awards.
Yes,
he is, as of right. I checked it this morning. As of right now, there is some thought that he will be back for the Clipper game on January 30th, which means he will miss 2 more games and actually still have 1 more game left of wiggle room.
Yes,
The notion that he is not going to miss any more games after that, or not miss 2 more games after that, I think is a little crazy. So I think Jokic is going to be ineligible, which is why he is not my pick to say who will finish second for this award. I think Cade is probably, by the slimmest of margins, the guy that I would say will finish second. But you could tell me 8 different players wind up finishing second. You could tell me Jokic. You could tell me Cade. You could tell me Jaylen Brown. You could tell me Tyrese Maxey. You could tell me Anthony Edwards. You could tell me Wemby. You could tell me Luka. You could tell me any of these guys finish second in MVP, and I would be like, all right, I'm sure. I think they're all possible.
Yes, you are correct. However, when I watch this team and I watch what this guy has to do every night. And again, I'm a Knicks fan. And listen, while I push back on the Cade and, Cade is better than Brunson because he's taller or whatever. But you know what? If you want to give that dude an MVP, I'm not complaining, because again, that guy has to do everything, because you're not running plays for Duncan Robinson or Jalen Duren or Beef Stew or Dennis Jenkins. Like, I didn't even know who Dennis Jenkins was. Like, he was an NPC to me as far as I was concerned until like 2 months ago. Like, and listen, yes, SGA is phenomenal. Is he the most valuable player in the NBA?
I think he is the most valuable player in the NBA.
Is he the best player? Or is he the most outstanding player? Or is he the most valuable?
The Oklahoma City Thunder's offense is 12.7 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the floor. That's in the 99th percentile league-wide. The only players who are higher than that in terms of the offensive on-off, higher than SGA, in the entire league are James Harden, Julius Randle, Giannis, a big man on the Clippers whose name I can't pronounce, who has played 143 minutes this year, DeAnthony Melton, and then Jokic. So it's essentially Jokic, Giannis, and Randall and Harden. But those teams are not in the same category as Denver and Milwaukee. That's not surprising. So here's my point. OKC is awesome. And for their offense to be so much better when SGA plays than when he doesn't speaks to just how important he is for what they do. That's I think it's open and shut, but that's me.
If you switch to 2, how much is there any type of significant drop off?
I think there's a drop off. I absolutely think
significant.
I mean, what's significant at that level? Like 2, 3, 4 wins? I don't,
like, are they going to be like, okay, maybe
I don't think, let's put it this way. I don't think the Thunder are the title favorites if they have Cade instead of SGA. And I think they're absolutely the title favorites right now.
Here's the thing, though. If you it's hard for me to say if you switch them, the Oklahoma City Thunder would suffer a significant drop off when the team that Cade is on now has one less loss than them with a far greater disparity of talent.
Yeah, but the Thunder of I mean, did you see who was on the floor with them at the end of the game last night? No J-Dub, no Hartenstein, no Wallace, no Caruso. Like and this has been the whole season for them. They've been missing guys left and right. The only constant has been SGA. You look at me like I'm crazy.
I know it's a podcast, so I have to talk. See, Jeff, I did it to myself. I'm not listen. I am not saying that SGA has no shot. I just don't think it's this open and shut case as you're making it out.
I will say, if you compare their numbers, it makes it seem like Cade's season is just which is kind of crazy. Crazy.
I didn't even go with the advanced. The advanced numbers are not in the same galaxy, let alone the same.
You know what this is gonna be? This is gonna be Derrick Rose and LeBron. That MVP race. It's starting to mirror that. When Derrick Rose
because everybody
MVP,
hated LeBron that year.
A lot of people don't like SGA.
Not to that level. I mean,
not to that level, but
he was the biggest villain in the NBA.
Right, but that was it took that narrative to throw that MVP race off, because there's people who contend that LeBron should have won that MVP, but everybody loved Derrick Rose, and Derrick Rose had the numbers to at least back it up. But what is the narrative that would throw people off of Shea? It can't be hate. They stopped that "what a pro wants, what a pro needs" commercial, so a lot of that vitriol is kind of dissipated, right? But what would it be other than if the Pistons end up with the league's best record?
Listen, I know the Pistons have not been a picture of health because no team is a picture of health, but if just a couple things. J-Dub has missed 23 games. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed 23 games. Alex Caruso has missed 15 games. Lou Dort has missed 10 games. Chet Holmgren has missed 6 games. Like, SGA has missed 2. Like,
Javonte Green has played 44 games for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, but he's part of like their ethos. Listen, you guys make good points. For me, this is going to be what I mean. You're making me want to look up the betting odds on this, because is SGA not the runaway favorite? I didn't even look it up.
No, he probably is, but I had it up here earlier. I can pull it up.
No, hold on. I got it right here. This is, I don't know when this was as of, but oh wait, no, it's not on this page. Minus 400. The next closest guy is Luka at plus 1,000. Cade is plus 1,200.
Why the hell is Luka ahead of Cade?
Have you looked at Luka's numbers?
It's just interesting how for some people, I'm not saying you're doing this, John, but like for some people, it's look at his numbers. Some people's like, look how good his team is. Or some people's like, look at his impact. And it's like, but then I understand it's been codified that Luka has to be top 5 MVP every year because it is written there for it is so.
Well, this is going to be interesting. We will revisit this discussion. Jeff, last word before we get out of here from you.
We forgot about 6-man.
Oh, we didn't do defense player of the year. We didn't do
you're right.
I didn't want to go. Yeah, because it's we have time for those. We'll do those at the appropriate time.
Then my last word is stay warm. And if you're in a warm climate, F off.
That's very fair. Shawn, last word from you.
All I know is the Knicks better not lose to the motherfucking Sacramento Kings tomorrow night. That's all I know.
Man,
All this goodwill is going out the window.
I will say this: if the Saturday team shows up, yeah, the Kings are gonna have they're having a long road trip already. I don't think that should happen.
listen,
Still in the Garden, still a little bit different.
A little bit.
Great home team.
go win that game by 20 plus points. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
For sure.
Okay. Thank you guys for doing another one of these bad boys with me. Thank you everybody out there who checked it out on YouTube. Hopefully I get the old Twitter account up and running before too long. And if you are listening to this on your podcast feed, thank you for that. Be sure to leave a rating or a review and help support the show in any way that you can. We will be back with more fun and games this time next week. I think we'll be back this time next week, unless something pops up. In the meantime, everybody enjoy your week, and we'll talk to you soon.